Yo, welcome to the Blue Lounge, welcome to the stream. How you all doing? I know. I said we're not going to stream for a couple of days, but guess what? I was supposed to be doing something this evening and that got cancelled, so instead I'm here with you guys. Big up to you. MCIG, you should be in blue right now. You should be in blue. You are in blue. You just got promoted in the chat. You've been promoted, my man. Big up to you. Big up to CFC Stephen. Big up to you. And I've answered this question. And my answer is there. Low key. And if you don't know him, Google him. Big up to Swoopstar. Big up to you. Haven't seen you for a couple of days. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're all doing good. People, we smashed it yesterday. We got to the 8,000 subscriber milestone. So big up to all of you. Big up to everyone who has supported the Blue Lounge. We're getting noticed, people. We're getting noticed. So with your support, with your backing, hopefully we're on the way to 10K. That's the next milestone. Mo, big up to you. Always a pleasure to have you on. One of the first subscribers to the channel when it was Baggy TV. Couch Critic, how you doing, man? How you doing? I'm doing good, fam. I'm doing good. Listen, today, hopefully, once we get everyone in here, we're going to be discussing the development, the evolvement of Tuchel's squad. Because Tuchel's squad is evolving, is developing. And I think... One second. Yeah, I saw things... Yo, MCIG, listen, I loved the comment you made about the person who would be the 8,000 subscriber from yesterday. And that's why you got promoted, for that specific comment. It was a little bit borderline, but it was good. I like the effort you made in that comment, so big up to you. And I've seen you in the chat for the past few weeks, and I'm enjoying having you in my chat. So you're moderating now, so enjoy the powers, mate. Enjoy the powers. So the development of Tuchel's squad, because Tuchel came in with a system that was already in place, with a team that was already in place, with the system, and he had to change a lot. Because it wasn't working. Lampard did do some good things in his first season and tried to build on it in his second season. Unfortunately, he wasn't able. And Tuchel had to come in and use what was there to steady the ship and at the same time to challenge for titles. And he did. He challenged and we got one of the biggest titles out there. We got the title of the Champions of Europe under Tuchel. Now, this season, however, we started off, I'm not going to say poorly because we had some good results. We just had a little blip. And that little blip is making Tuchel address something in his team, in his formation, in his selection. And we saw that in the second half against Juventus. And we saw that in the game against Southampton. And the three players that I have on the thumbnail and that I have in the title are not the only players we should be discussing, but they are the three players that have made a big statement with Tuchel's selection and with him incorporating them in the team, especially when a lot of people in the Chelsea fan base had written some of them off as being has-beens, as being people who have potential but were never going to fulfill that because of injury, because of discipline, because of form, because of inexperience. Some of these players were being overlooked. I personally had faith in some, but at the same time, I personally did not think we would be seeing what we're seeing right now in regards to a couple of these players. And I have to say, it's a pleasant thing to see, because as a Chelsea fan, we should all be looking forward and feeling good about seeing some of our players turn it around for the team, for themselves, and for us. Yes, the flip side to that, there are certain players that are not doing what is required, but that will be addressed. And hopefully they can turn it around as well. They will have a full squad of players who are performing, who are doing the business. And that is really the gist of what I want to talk about and what I want to address in today's stream. I want to get your thoughts, people in the chat, and the people who are on the panel who will be joining us. I want to get your thoughts on where we can go and how much can we expect and what kind of milestones should we be setting for these players, because it's troublesome, problematic to set high standards and high milestones, because if they're not achieved, does that mean these players have failed? Or maybe we set milestones and benchmarks that are too low, and when they achieve those, do we say that they have exceeded expectations? So it's a balancing act whereby you want them to achieve the best that they can achieve, be the best that they can be, but at the same time we don't want to put them in a range where they could fail. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Bobby Smoke Signals, welcome to the stream. How you doing, my man?
Hey Mo, hi. It's always a pleasure. Good title, by the way.
Cheers.
That's very, very significant to where we are now.
Yeah. It's how I feel, Bobby. It's how I feel right now. I feel that this is where we are, and this is what we're seeing right now. Because yesterday we saw it was a pass. It was an action taken by one of our players. Had it of been Hakim Ziyech, had it of been Kai Havertz who made that pass to Azpilicueta, we would be talking about, this guy is world class, this guy is amazing. The fact that it was Ross Barkley who made that pass, is it a fluke? Do you know what I mean? So it's people, people's perception of an event is impacted and it's evaluated on certain criteria that, in my opinion, is unfair because, like I said, had it been somebody else, we would have looked at it in a different light. And that, I think, is a little bit of, I'm not going to say disrespect to Barkley or underestimating what Barkley can do, because those of us who follow football, those of us who know a little bit about Barkley's background and Barkley's potential, Barkley really is, if you want to be fair on the man, he's underachieving in comparison to what he could have become and what he could have been. That being said, right now, Ross Barkley is in his peak prime. So really, if this is when Ross Barkley is supposed to be doing it. And I have a feeling, and I could be wrong. I could be, just clutching the straws here. But I have a feeling that Thomas Tuchel, if anyone is gonna be able to install discipline in Ross Barkley, it's gonna be Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah,
I have a feeling that this is the guy who can do it.
I don't think you're wrong at all. We have a situation at Chelsea now where, because of our success, sometimes success brings along certain things. We have with us a set of, I don't know, they're sort of fans, but they're not really invested in the progress and the success of the club as a lot of the true fans are. And so they over criticize. They're sort of quick fix people. And when it doesn't happen, they actually get some pleasure out of negativity they can heap on Chelsea. Now, you're right. Tuchel is building his squad. And it's never been a secret that Tuchel likes to use the academy. In the case of Chelsea, we also had, a large loan army. And he filtered the ones he wanted and the ones he didn't want. So everybody in the Chelsea squad now that has a number is wanted by Tuchel, and he's going to use them, including Barkley. I think you're right. I think Tuchel is going to make something of Ross Barkley. You can see it in his body language towards the lad. It's not a coincidence what he did when he came on for those few minutes. Could he have done better? Definitely, I think he can. But I think that will come with time. There's Barkley, there's Ruben Loftus-Cheek, there's Saul Niguez. I haven't given up on him yet, but he's yet to come to the fore. He's definitely stamped the authority of Chalobah in the team. And if you watch how he eased in Chilwell after giving Alonso a chance at the beginning of the season, and look, it's only been 7 games and people are already having a go at him for that. I don't expect Tuchel's team to really come into fruition till about end of November. Then we'll start to see a more oiled team, or rather a more oiled squad. It's a good thing, but we need to be patient as a fan base, and we need to be understanding, and we need to pay a little bit more interest in the academy and in the loan players, because these are the people that a manager like Tuchel is going to use going forward, for sure.
Yeah. No, I agree. There's a comment here by Deals CFC, which is interesting. I disagree with it, but it's interesting. He says, if Tuchel can get a tune out of Barkley, it's because he will get rid of him in January. You know what, Deals? It's a negative way to look at it, but at the same time, it's also a positive way to look at it, because if Barkley does perform and does put in a good shift, and come January, a club comes in and offers us money for the lad that could benefit Chelsea, then either way we've benefited of him, because either as an investment, as a financial incentive, or as him being a good player and improving and is able to help us as a squad player this season. So either way, Deals, it's good for us, because money-wise, financial-wise, or squad depth-wise. So let Tuchel do what he's doing, and and hopefully he does get a tune out of Ross Barkley. I want to
What is
say
the sense
big up.
in selling Barkley in January?
There isn't. But I'm saying if that does happen, because that's his opinion, Deals' opinion, and I'm going to encourage people to have an opinion, whether I agree or disagree. But if we do end up selling him in January, if he is correct and we do sell him in January, all good, because that means we're going to get some money from the man. And if he does stay, then obviously he's going to be added to the squad, as he is being utilised right now in a very positive manner. Big up to Kasim. Big up to MDT. How you guys doing?
You alright? How are you? Mo, you alright? Bobby, you alright?
I'm alright. Bobby, how are you doing, Mo? How
Yeah,
are you,
guys.
How are you doing?
Kasim,
Good,
Mo,
good,
Couch,
good.
how are you
Good.
doing, Couch?
Couch, Dennis.
What's up, fellas?
Couch
How you guys doing?
Couch Critics in the house. Big up to you,
How's
Dennis.
you alright?
Listen, Couch, you're smashing some good content on your channel, man. You got to slow it down, man. I'm getting competitive vibes here, man. Slow it down, brother.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to keep up with you, man, and constantly, an enjoyable stream, good guests, and just knowledgeable. Just trying to, use what I learned from the stream to, the greater good.
Yeah, no, listen, Couch. I'm really enjoying watching your videos, and I want it to continue. Views, subscribers, they will come. Keep smashing it. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a fantastic job, my brother.
Respect, King.
Thank you. Listen, QNTV is also trying to make it big, but Kasim, he's still in the first steps of his career on YouTube. So big up to you, Kasim, as well. I hope we'll see some fantastic stuff from you. And I know you have a target of 100 subscribers, and then you're going to start streaming. So people, give QNTV and the Couch Critic subscriptions. Get them on their way to their milestones, and let's see some more Chelsea content. Listen, Deals is hopefully in this international break, Tuchel can work in the plan to. Yeah, Deals, hopefully.
Can I just say something regarding Barkley quickly?
One second. I'll bring you in, Kasim. I think this international break will be utilized very well by Tuchel, because a lot of the players he's currently emphasizing on and is working on are going to be staying in Cobham. They're not going to be going out on international duty. So he is able to utilize that time to develop them and to work with them. Kasim, come on in, man. What do you want to say?
Yeah, regardless Barkley, like you said, I spoke to Monster last night, and I mentioned Barkley to him, and I mentioned that point. If it's any manager gonna get the best of Barkley, it's gonna be Tuchel. And it's been proven, because Frank Lampard, he had a bad man management in the way he isolated. He didn't speak to Rudiger for God knows how long. Same with Jorginho. He ignored him. And all of a sudden, when Tuchel came in and brought Rudiger, he made him one of the best defenders in the world. So he's got that man management skill, Tuchel, to get the best of the player. But I have no doubt, because I know Ross Barkley's got a talent. But if he's got a personal issue or attitude issue or a discipline issue or whatever it is, I think the guy's got the talent. I disagree with the guy said he get rid of him in January. I think we need big squad. We saw the game, the like of Liverpool and Man City. The football was great, two great teams, contender for the Premier League, and they both end up drawn 2-2. So we need the big squad. And the next 5, 6, 7 games, we're going to play big, small teams, and we need their likes of Ross Barkley to break, to break them down, to give that magic passes. So I do agree. I believe Tuchel will get the best of Barkley. I believe so.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know where Deals is coming from in his comment. I know where he's coming from, because Ross Barkley is a player we wanted to sell in the last transfer window. Then we also wanted to loan out.
So is Rudiger. So is Rudiger as well. We wanted to sell.
No, I'm talking about the last transfer window. We wanted to sell Barkley. We wanted to loan Barkley, because we didn't believe Barkley does have what it takes to make it at Chelsea. But because we didn't find a suitor for him, he stayed. He stayed. Okay, and he is in the team out of chance. However, however, the fact that he is in the team, the fact that he has been given this opportunity, and the fact that it seems that he is taking the opportunity is taking a lot of people by surprise. And some of us are still with that mindset that now, what I'm seeing can't be real. What I'm seeing is a fluke. What I'm seeing is temporary. Ross Barkley will go back to being useless in the next couple of games. That's this is all a fluke. This is all deception, whatever it is. They can have that opinion, and that's fine, because they may be right. They could possibly be right, because in the past, Ross Barkley has had some fantastic form, and then he's had some horrendous form. And we saw it at Aston Villa. When he went there at the start, he did fantastic. Then he had an injury and whatnot, and his form just went downhill. And so, I can understand all points of view in respect to Ross Barkley. However, there is also a caveat to what you said about if anyone can do it, it's Tuchel. Yeah. But at the same time, someone could, I could play the devil's advocate here and say, well, if he can turn Ross Barkley around and get him to perform, then why is he having Ziyech underperforming? Why can't he turn him around? And Havertz underperforming? Why can't he turn him around? So there is different ways you can look at this. You can look at this, but is it form? Is it issues? Because in the past, we know Lampard wasn't the best when it came to man management. And I think MDT Mohammed can give us an insight onto this, because I think Lampard might have lacked because of his experience, because the majority of the fan base and the players, they look at Lampard as the footballing legend rather than as the manager, and that might have had an impact in respect to his relationship with some of the players. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud here. Mo, I want you to come in on this and give us an insight to what Tuchel can do with regards to player management opposed to what Lampard did.
Well, hi everybody. Hello, I hope you guys had a good weekend. Yeah. So for me, with Lampard, because of I think all of us, because of the love we have for him as a player, sometimes our judgment is clouded. Lampard recently, you watch his interview. That's the Lampard I know. We all know that interview he last gave. You remember? That's the Lampard, because he knows that when Lampard was at Chelsea, he had the privilege. Ranieri gave him the free role. It was Emmanuel Petit, that was the defensive midfielder. When Jose Mourinho came, Jose Mourinho was horrible to other attacking players like Robin, Joe Cole. He used to tell them to defend rather than attack. Lampard was the only one that was free. He was given the free role. So he's always been treated like the prince. So when he became a manager, he should have realized that Jose Mourinho did things wrong. He should have adjusted to say, you know what, I'm not going to be like Jose. I'm going to be more like Ancelotti. Okay, let everybody play their role. You remember that season? That's when we break the record of Premier League goals scored until City did under Ancelotti, because he let all the players free and play to their potential. So I believe Lampard has learned from his mistake, because what he did to some players, even the young players, it was not fair. Even Mason Mount, okay, is his like a project, but he moved Mason Mount from the 10, because when Lampard first started, he used to play 4-2-3-1. Mount was the 10. The first few games, Mount scored goals. If you remember the first part of the season, Mount used to score goals. To bring Pulisic in the team, he gave that free role to Pulisic and play Mount as a winger, and all the fan base turned on Mount as well. So it wasn't Mount's fault as well. So Lampard, as a manager, he made quite a little bit of mistakes here and there and things like that. But Tuchel, the reason why I'm happy with him, because Tuchel has always sided with young players from Dortmund. Okay, he sided with players that gonna give 100%. Okay, I'm even surprised that it took him this long at Chelsea for him not to dip into the academy. And because at PSG as well, he gave more academy player debut than most of their manager. And look, Pochettino is there now. He's not giving them the same chance Tuchel did. PSG, they didn't appreciate him. He gave lots of academy players chance. It's under Tuchel, Kepembe become a first team player at PSG. Tuchel is a good manager. When it comes to managing this, giving people chance, everybody fair chance, he will do it because his managerial record is always good with. Is better with young players.
Are we going to see? Are we going to see Callum Hudson-Odoi remain in the attacking lineup? Because he utilized him as a wing back. Yesterday we saw him in attack, and to be honest, I think yesterday it was one of his best performances. Because as a wing back, he had good performances, but he didn't look like a threat. Yesterday on the left hand side, in the wing position, left wing position, he was a threat, and he assisted. He had a couple of shots. He was lively.
Okay, I think the problem with Callum is at training, when he's played at wing back, he's one of the best. So that's the thing. Tuchel keep thinking, he's gonna bring him back. The reason why Tuchel is playing Callum at wing back is not because of he doesn't want to play him up front. I think it's because of at training he's one of the best in playing that position because he attacks without limitation. But when it comes to match, he's hesitant. I don't know whether it's the injury or he's playing is safe and things like that. But Tuchel is playing Callum as a wing back is to improve his defensive attribute. That's why he's playing him there. He hasn't seen him as a wing back. The reason why he's playing him there is to improve his defensive part of his game. But the fan base think that he's playing there because he doesn't trust him or whatever. He just wanted to improve his defensive side of his game. You remember Sarri did it to Ruben, first part of the season. Okay, so I trust him. Sometimes it's just frustrating that when he had a bad game at wing back, the fans keep going on him and he's just Tuchel want to get the best out of him, both attacking wise and defensive wise. Because Callum Hudson-Odoi in the youth team, he was never trained to defend. He was just an attacker. An attacker. Yeah. This is the first time he's been trained to do defensive part of the game.
Yeah, I think his pace allows him to get back quickly enough to recover. But I'm not so confident about him making some of them tackles. He looks a little bit suspect about that, but we'll come back to that. I want to bring in Couch Critic on Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and the reason why I want to ask Couch Critic this because he actually advocated for this before the game, and we talked about this before the game, and that is having two because we're used to seeing 2 6s. Kovačić, Jorginho, Kante, even Saúl Ñíguez. But yesterday we saw a more attacking setup with Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Kovačić because Kovačić is a 6 and he's an 8. And yesterday they were playing as 8s rather than as 6s because they were attacking. They were pressing. And this is something that Couch and I wanted to see and we suggested could happen. With Kovačić and Ruben starting the game, and it happened that way. We saw that, and I want to get Couch's opinion on how well they played together, how well they performed, and could we see more of this moving forward?
Yeah, thanks for bringing me in, and thanks for having me, Mo. Big up to the Mandem. Don't know, you guys obviously have great opinions on everything, and I respect what you guys have to say, and that's why I keep coming back. But I got to say this. Yesterday, seeing Ruben, it wasn't really surprising for me to see him, first start because he's probably the most informed central midfielder that we have right now. Every time he's come in under Tuchel, he's given him good minutes. You can't ignore that. I saw that after the first game he came. I think it was might have been Villa. I could be wrong. He came in and gave us good minutes then. Yeah, and you just knew that there was something for him to build on. And he came back in I think, one of the Champions League games, if I'm not mistaken. Guys, I can't remember. Wasn't it? Okay. Yeah. Gave him good minutes there as well. And, there's just something to build off of. So you knew that, that Tuchel recognized what he was doing because he kept on giving them opportunities. And then when you look at what the games were asking for, when you look at the Zenit game, teams that don't really want to look to press and attack us and whatnot, we need to be more offensive minded. Like you look at the game against who am I forgetting here? Juventus, where Juventus was just looking to play on the counter, real compact, tight. It makes no sense for me to have 2 6s in there, two people that think the game is 6s. Now, I'm not just talking about the tactical deployment of 6s. I'm talking about 2 guys that actually think the game is 6s. You know, real safe, not looking to advance the ball, not looking to run into areas. I thought that was telling. And then you have the two 8s. You can play them as 6s, but the fact that they're playing as 8s, that I'm a firm believer that players will always resort to tight. Like if the reason why somebody like Callum Hudson-Odoi is not really affecting the game as a wingback is because he's not a wingback. He's a winger. You know, I know we want that aspect from him as an attacker, but he thinks the game as an attacker. And when you try and play him in a defensive position, when you're relying on your instincts and whatnot, when you're getting through games, he's going to resort to what he knows. It's an instinctual game. You know, it's repetition. So when you see him play that position, you know that you're not going to get him as a defensive wingback. You're going to get him more offensive. And that's where some of the lapses come in because he's not really thinking the game as a defender or a wingback. He's thinking as an attacker. With Ruben and just with Kovačić, that duel right there, I just think that there's opportunities in games where we can see that happen, where we don't have to have the handbrakes on, especially when we play with 3 defenders in the back, you know? And that's not to say that, you know, we should be unstable in the midfield. Like, I still want to see Conte. I still want to see Jorginho. There's going to be games where we're going to need those guys to play extremely well for us. But in instances where we need more of attacking thrust from our midfield, we need more impetus going forward, it makes no sense to play those 2 in those roles when you have a guy like Ruben that can get forward, get into the box, score goals, you know, play that through ball, or somebody like Mason Mount, who I also think can give us some minutes in the 8 as well. Play those guys there and play more attackers up front, and we might have something when we're looking at, you know, trying to break down these low block teams.
You know what, Couch? Mason Mount could play in that position, and I think we can even see Ross Barkley play in that position. Maybe even Hakim Ziyech, Kai Havertz as 8s, as a traditional 8, because I know Havertz played as an 8 for Lampard early doors. So, you know, we could see a more attacking setup in the team rather than just having it in the 3 up front. Because if you wanna allow for attackers, you know, you don't have to have 2 6s. You can have 8s. You can have maybe, you know, a Jorginho, a Kante with a Barkley or a Mount or a Loftus-Cheek. There's different options. We'll get into them. I want to bring in Max Burton. Max Burton, welcome to the stream. How you doing?
Yeah, hi. I'm good. Thank you. Hi, how's everyone?
Good, man.
We're good. Max, I want to ask you this question, Max. We saw a more attacking setup against Southampton. We saw a lot of changes in the team against Southampton, even the way we played. It's a formation that we've had, 3-4-3, but this time he played it with wingers rather than 10s, you know, with Werner and Callum rather than Mount and Havertz or Ziyech, you know, more pace, more legs in attack. That being said, in respect to the defensive part of the game, the defensive aspect of the game, I mean, Southampton were not sitting back. They were pressing, they were attacking, they were moving forward. How do you think that balance was yesterday? Did you see that the fact that we were attacking, that we had so much in attack, it kind of made it easier to defend because there was less defending to do because we were in their half the majority of the time? Do you think our defenders handled it well? I mean, we had the one issue with Ben Chilwell, you know, tripping Livramento and giving away a penalty. We had a couple of goalkeeping errors in the way that we played out from the back. But generally, I thought we defended quite well in that system. I want to hear your thoughts on it, mate.
Yeah, the old narrative, defence is the best, attack is the best form of defence. And so I was watching your stream earlier, the one from yesterday. I can't remember who it was who said it, which it was the kind of point that I was making as well, similar, where because we had the pace of Werner, the pace of Hudson-Odoi, it was a case of them not wanting to commit too many men forward because they were worried about the pace that we had. I think had we had two pacey guys against Manchester City yesterday, and we had both of them sort of upfield for the counter attack, then I don't think Man City would have pressed us so aggressively. Because if anyone watched the Manchester City versus Liverpool game, they gave Liverpool a bit more respect. They didn't sort of press high up the field.
Salah and Mane,
because they know they got Salah and Mane who could be devastating. And Mane scored one of the goals when they were pushing up. He just beat one player, and then it was a great goal pass to Mane for the goal. So having two fast wide men, because they know. I think we would Werner, last week. Not Werner. Werner was there, but we also had Havertz, who's not as quick. So, and Werner wasn't really further forward, and plus our wing backs yesterday, or one wing back, Ben Chilwell, he's quicker than Alonso as well. So over that side, we had two guys who can bomb forward. Can we look at Southampton? When they played against Manchester United and Manchester City, they pressed them well, and they caused them a lot of problems. Yeah, so I think that yesterday they just gave us a bit more respect because of the pace that we have, and the line that we had was more because obviously with Ruben Loftus-Cheek there, he likes to drive forward as well, so he gives us that attacking impetus as well, and it's not in that we were moving the ball quicker. It was more vertical passes. Horizontal passes rather than vertical. So we weren't passing it sideways. It was every time we got the ball, it was like, let's get the ball upfield. Let's get the ball upfield. So we're moving it quicker yesterday. And that was one of the noticeable things in that game is that because even Kovačić was passing it quick and forward, I don't get me wrong, I do like Jorginho. I'm not one of the haters of Jorginho, but what he tends to do is he controls the game in a different way and he slows down the pace of the game. So sometimes if we are trying to get that attacking impetus going, the other team, they're allowed to get back into their set formation because the ball is not moved up the field quickly. So that was a noticeable thing yesterday, was the way that we just got the ball upfield really quick, And did Southampton really create a lot of chances against us? Not really, did they? They didn't have any. I can't remember a save that Mendy had to make. Did he make a save?
To be honest, Max, against United, they should have won. The guy had a fantastic save last 5 minutes. And against City, they should have had a penalty.
They should have had a penalty. I don't know why that wasn't given as a penalty because there are no mugs. Because I was listening to the other day, I think it was Eric Blue saying they're a small team. Listen, they haven't won a game all season. There are no mugs, especially against the big teams. Against the big teams, they show bravery. As I said, Manchester United, Man City, they got results against.
This is the one.
I think they've drawn. They only lost 2, didn't they? Because they've drawn all the rest. Because they're not. If they had a proper striker as well, because obviously Danny Ings had gone. Then
they're
missing. Armstrong's okay, but he's not going to be prolific, is he? So they're no mugs. So I thought we just approached the game good, and I love this line.
Yeah, Max, just one thing. I've put the link in the chat for the people if they want to jump in. It's going to be there for a little bit. So if you want to jump in and give us your thoughts, click on the link and jump in. Max, I want to ask you this. And then I'm going to open the discussion to everyone. This question is posed to all of you, but I'm going to get Max to start the ball rolling on it. We had an issue that we were talking about over the past few streams, and it was, has Lukaku come into the team and has he made it a little bit more stiff in attack? We don't see the movement, the chance creation that we had in the past because of Lukaku. Lukaku is the reason why it was not being done. Lukaku is not the one, is not linking up the play, blah, 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 blah. We heard all of that. Yesterday, Lukaku was in the team, but we saw fluidity. We saw chance creation. We saw, us preparing their goal with shots from all angles. And Lukaku was in the team. The point I'm trying to make is the change that we saw yesterday was the introduction of wingers. Is that what's been missing? And will this improve Lukaku?
Yeah, I think I mentioned it, or if I didn't mention it, I was meant to mention it in the last stream that I was on Thursday, was when we're talking about formations with Lukaku and how to get the best out of Lukaku. If we look at, when you're playing with a target man, then you need two wingers, two quick wingers you can play off him. Because when Drogba played with a Robin and a Duff, or even the Joe Cole was quick, not as quick, but he was quite tricky, and he used to be direct, isn't he, in his movements. So you need players who can run off him, run behind him. So like sometimes he can come short. And what he was doing yesterday, he was holding up the play and laying it off to the runners because they were running. They were willing to run behind. Like when you have Ziyech or Havertz in the team, they don't run behind a lot. They're kind of static. They're not moving beyond him as such. Yeah, exactly. So the options are kind of limited. So if you got two wingers, like whether it be Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi, or Werner, or runners, people are willing to run, then that's that way you can link up better. And that's what we saw yesterday. We saw more fluidity because they were prepared to run behind and stretch the play also.
All right, fantastic. I want to bring in a couple of people from the chat. First person will be Bright, and then I'll bring in Mass Access. Bright, how you doing, man? Yo, Bright, can you hear me? All right, Bright isn't there. Let's bring in Mass Access. Mass Access,
Bright has got down.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, Bright has gone down.
How you doing, mate?
Mass Access, how are you? How you doing?
Hi,
I'm fine. I'm fine, thank you.
Let me hear it, Max. Mass, what you want to tell us?
Oh, okay. About Lukaku, I feel like Lukaku is more of this player that wants the team to get the win, not just him getting the goals.
Okay.
Like, if you watch some of his recent match, that indeed he didn't enter the score sheet, you could see some touches he gave to his other teammates, some nice passes and some stuff like that. He doesn't concentrate on himself alone to just go there, get the goal. He's more of a team player to me, and I think he needs more time. Although we need the winning.
Do you think having Timo Werner and Callum Hudson-Odoi is better for him, for his goal scoring abilities, for him getting more chances to finish? Do you think having players like that is better for him than, let's say, Ziyech, Havertz, Mount, regular 10s? In your opinion?
Timo Werner is good, but I also need a Mount in the game.
Okay.
Yes.
So a little bit of a mixture. Legs plus a press,
good.
chance creation.
The player that could move the ball past one or two defenders. That's Mount for you. So you need him in the game.
Mass, I want to hear this from you because I want to get a fan's perspective. Ross Barkley, does he have a future at Chelsea?
I think so. I think so because he needs more time to get into the field and show what he got for us. Man is good. He's improving though.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Mass Access, thanks for coming on, mate. Pleasure to have you on. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, bro. Okay.
Cheers, bro. I'm gonna try to bring in Bright one more time. See if he's still there. Bright, can you hear me? Bright.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Bright. Yeah. I had you on mute by accident, Bright. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Tell us. Tell us your thoughts, mate. Tell us your thoughts. Let me hear it.
Yeah. Now, okay. Let me start from here. We are happy. We Chelsea fans, we are happy about the scores today, result today. Liverpool, Man City.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we are happy for the result. Now we are on top now. So after the break, after the international break, then when our players will return back for the international break, then maybe everybody will fit. Christian Pulisic will be back. So Matt will be also fit already, and what's the call again? Reece James also be fit. So when all of our players are fully fit, then I think we are good to go. Yeah, everything will be fine.
Yeah. That's actually a fantastic point because Pulisic is one of those
when
players.
After the break, this
it
break.
force that type of setup. Yeah.
Bright,
where are you talking to us from? Where are you?
Huh? Yeah. Okay.
Where are you talking to us from? Where?
Italy.
Italy.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. Bright, thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you in the
after
future.
the break, I believe that we'll be stronger. We hunt the Premier League. We hunt the Premier League after the break, the international break. When our player be fit, with James, everybody be fit. The police will be back. The Premier League, we hunt them down. Yeah.
All
so
right,
for
brilliant.
today, we are happy for today. For the result today, it's not today now. We are happy.
It's a good result. We're top of the league.
Yeah,
Dwight,
top of the league.
Thanks for coming on. I've got a few people. To come on. So thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate you. Have a great day. Cheers.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, I have the pod father. I'm worried. Should I get this guy on? The pod father. Welcome to the stream. How you doing?
Hello. How you guys doing? Love the show.
Love the name. Love the name.
Yeah, not bad. I want to talk about the game yesterday.
Sure.
Love listening to you guys. So my thing was obviously a big fan of Ruben. People forget that obviously he was a DM coming through the youth team, so he's actually well versed in playing the defensive role. So it wasn't anything super new to him. So I think he's always had those attributes in his game. That's what got him the big contract at Chelsea when he was 18 as a DM, not even a box-to-box or an attacking midfielder. He's just an all-round player for me, one of my favorite Chelsea players. In terms of Mount in the double pivot, I think we've tried that last season and it's been awful every time he's played there. So I think I wouldn't entertain that unless it's like bare bones and we're down. Everybody's in the injury room or whatever. In terms of the game yesterday with the wingers, I think it's more horses for courses. Like I think Southampton allowed, they're an attacking team. They come forward. It wasn't like a low block thing. There was a lot of space for Callum, a lot of space for Werner to run into. I think sometimes when we're playing low block teams, you're going to need to be more cute, and that's where players like Mount and Havertz come in. I think with Lukaku, everybody's complaining about in terms of like the pressing and the movement, but with every player there's drawbacks and there's positives. Like no player is perfect, so it's more about you work around him. So if you watch a lot of his things for Inter Milan, he had a lot of movement for them. He didn't stay in one place. Sometimes he'd be on the wing, crossing the ball. That's how he got his 6 or 7 assists. Or like 9 assists last season. He'd be on the wing. He'd be running. A lot of running through on goals that he scored last year. So I think it's more about how we use him. But the thing about him is his fitness is good, but his size, you have to remember his size. So by 60, 70 minutes, he's run flat out. He's done. At that point, you need other players to come in and maybe carry the pressing load if you want to keep pressing as a team. And even when I look at the game today between Man City and Liverpool, Man City have like a real attacking team, but they hunt as a team. So I don't even think it's about players. I think if we hunt in packs and in a more tactical, thoughtful way, I think you can have the attacking players on there and still maintain that defensive shape. Yeah,
I agree. So, can I come on the back of that, Mo? Do you mind?
Just one comment, and then I'll let you address the couch.
Yeah.
When you said about Mount playing in that position under Lampard,
yes.
It was under Lampard in that
position. No, on the Tuchel against
Tuchel.
Yes, I think West Brom.
Brighton.
We lost 5-0.
No, Brighton. Yeah. Brighton as well.
Yes, it was on the Tuchel as well. He tried him in 2 games there, and he couldn't keep his position. He kept on going forward and leaving the DM exposed. So he doesn't have that discipline in that position for me.
The question is, do you reckon that can be changed? that we could get Mount to play in that position? Because Mount in that position would help in a lot of aspects in the press, in the chance creation, in the attacking sense. Having Mount in the team in that position with two wingers in front of him does make sense. But like you said, he needs to have the discipline to hold his position and not go out of his position. But do you see Mount being able to address that and to be able to develop into that?
No, I think he can. He's young enough. He has the football brain, the technique. He can tackle, he can pass, he can run. But I just think it's wasted playing him in that position. It's like playing Callum at the right wing back. I just don't feel he gets the best out of him.
Fair enough. Couch, come on in, man.
Yeah, I actually wanted to comment on that as well, just because I don't think that it's mainly to play him as a 6 as much as to play him as an 8 in that role. I understand we're trying to think of what we want defensively solid, but I'm saying in certain games you don't necessarily need to have two holding midfielders. You just need to have somebody that can get into the box for you, can create chance creations as well. So that's why I thought he could play there. When you saw
definitely like yesterday when Jorginho comes on, you can see that he goes to a single pivot and he puts Loftus-Cheek and Mount in forward positions. So and the thing about Jorginho, people say, that he's only there to slow down the game and be defensive. No, I mean, if you watch Napoli, anybody watch Napoli knows that that's not the case. What he does is he creates patterns of play. So he creates the triangles. He moves. He makes space for the other guys to find spaces. When he's on his game, whether it's for Italy or for Napoli, offensively he can be brilliant. Defensively he can be brilliant. But just like any other player, he has his drawbacks and times where he doesn't fit. So I think it's more about how we use it, because certain games offensively you also want to take. Okay, so let's say you've scored a goal in the first 10 minutes, and then the next 10 minutes the other team, the momentum is switched, and you just need to slow the game down. You can't now just bring Jorginho on from the bench. So sometimes it's better to play him in those games where he can still be offensive and slow the game down and speed the game up. He just dictates play.
No, I feel you, and I'm definitely not a detractor of Jorginho. I've seen his value for years. What I was saying was, in certain games where you know that the team is not really looking to attack you, you just don't necessarily need a 6 in there. You need an 8 for me. And on top of that, let's be real. The last 3 or 4 games, the tempo has been terrible. Outside of the last game, and that's down to Jorginho. That's what we want him to do. We want him to set the tempo, and it hasn't really been good. So there was even more reason to have him out of the game, because as much as we, I trust him as a in that position. If he's not setting the tempo and he's not moving things, ticking it over, then he's not really showing his value in the squad anymore. So it made sense for me to have him sit this game.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think my thing is more sometimes. Sorry, Liverpool. Yeah, over the last 2 years, they basically play with 3 holding midfielders, pretty much. Yeah, Henderson, Ronaldo, and without more of a box-to-box guy. But what I'm saying is that they're not really there to create or to score goals. They're just to press, keep the ball moving, and the attackers and the fullbacks do most of the attacking. So what I'm saying is that when the system is working. Because I think when Tuchel came in, he talked a lot about this double 6 and how he loves it, and he's always wanted to play it, and he loves Kante, he loves Jorginho. These are things the manager has said. So I'm just trying to build my thinking around what he said, rather than my own, what I would personally do. But I'm just trying to think of what the manager would do. And when we're at our best, those two 6s, I think they probably won us more games last year than the attacking players last year. Just in terms of their performance, not necessarily scoring the goal or the assist or whatever.
Last year, we had issues when it came to goal scoring, so we relied heavily on ball possession and defensive aspect of the team to to get results. But I think we're changing that this season. I think we're going to be scoring up a few more goals and focusing a little bit more on attack. Listen, the Podfather. Where are you speaking to us from? You got a London accent.
Yes. I'm in South London at the moment. So
South London.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Listen, great to have you on. I hope to see you on the stream in the future.
Definitely. Big fan of the show. Big fan of the panel. Love it. And to all the people who say Aspie can't attack, Aspie can't go forward, let's watch yesterday's game. For me, he was brilliant. Passing, forward runs, crossing. I love Reece, but Reece doesn't run into the box. No way. He's not in that position to make that pass. No way. He crosses from deep all the time.
He needs to have a rest every now and then. I mean, the man, he's a little bit old, so we need to use him wisely. And
he does.
I agree. I mean, his crossing and his determination, his motivation, his heart, his commitment to the team is second to none. But sometimes you just need to give him a little bit of a break.
Only missed 3 games from injury in 8 years. That's Azpilicueta. Yeah.
Big heart,
probably the most crucial player we've had in the last 8 years. Because the other guys have come and gone. He's the only one. 8 years.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. Nice talking to you guys.
Thank you. Have
a great night.
Cheers, mate. You too.
Take care, mate.
Take care. You know what? I love having people like that come on my stream because it makes it all worthwhile because they're listening, they're giving you some food for thought, they're giving you intelligent comments. Fantastic. People in the chat, I'm just I'm loving this. Big up to all of you. We've got DJ Sav in the house. DJ Sav, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good, guys. How you all doing?
We're doing fantastic.
Yeah, hey DJ.
DJ, I've listened to everyone. I've got their position on this. So I'll give you a couple of minutes, and then we'll just open the debate to everyone.
Sure.
I've got a troll in the chat. Go on, DJ. I'll take care of the troll. Carry on.
That's right. It's just great to be top of the league before international break after the results went through. After the results for today, as usual, the press putting on negativity as well as usual. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw any of my tweets this morning. The talk of Hakim Ziyech and Kai Havertz being told they need to step up their games. It's a little story they need to make up for the international break now to cause problems probably in the dressing room or probably with the football club to say, these players are probably going to end up, if things don't buck up, they'll end up getting... It's a little story going around for these players now, as usual. They can't be... Just leave it at it is. We're top of the league. Leave it at that and just let Chelsea just enjoy this now. Let international football just go, come back, and we go again. But other than that, mate, I don't really tend to pay attention to any of that stuff. But sometimes it just is annoying, especially when you hear little stories here coming out from certain I won't name certain reporters out there who we all know here who talks a load of rubbish, and he's been one of them again, coming out with his stupid sarcasm comments regarding our players. I think we all know who that guy is. But yeah, I'm just happy we're top of the league. Team played really, really well, as I said yesterday. You guys must have seen the game, saw the highlights, the second goal, Barkley's pass, Aspie's control pass for Werner to finish. I think for me, that was the highlight of the game, that whole goal just in general. And that was when we were coming under pressure, to be honest with you, because in the second half, Southampton did come onto us in the second half. They got their equaliser from that pressure. But then we stepped it up again, and people say it was for the red card. We stepped it up again. But I think we were beginning to start to show signs again. Even when they equalised, even before the sending off happened, we were trying to get back into the game and try and get back the lead again. But we still ended up winning the game, which I'm just happy about. So yeah, that's what I really have to say on that. I'm just happy we're top of the league, and it's Chelsea again all the way, mate.
Fantastic. Listen, just a comment to the moderators in the chat. Don't put them on timeout. Just block them, hide them from the channel, block them. Because putting them on timeout, you're just pushing them away. They'll come back in 3 minutes or whatever it is. Just block them. But I'm glad I'm having these trolls. Having trolls, it means you've made it. It means you're big time because people are trolling you, right? It's a pain. It's a pain, but it gives you a couple of minutes just to focus on the chat for a minute. Just come up with some names that make sense. I mean, you're coming to troll, at least troll properly. You know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, guys, moderators in the chat, just do us a favor and just ban them. Don't time them out. Ban them.
Is he an Everton supporter? Leighton Baines, maybe. I don't know. It could be Leighton Baines' new job because he's not around anymore, was he?
I don't know. But all right, now I know where these are coming from. Yeah, they do their rounds. They go on my stream. They go on other streams. They get blocked from those streams. They come on this stream. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. At least I'm getting views. You know what? The guys who are trolling, do us a favor and hit the dislike because you're interacting. You're interacting. You haven't disliked the stream yet, so hit the dislike so you're interacting. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the topic. In regards to the shape, I mean, we know Ross Barkley, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Callum. These players are going to be given this opportunity, and they're going to be here for the rest of the season. And I'm happy to see that because it gives us depth in the squad. But in regards to the shape, because we're playing wide. Yesterday we played wide. Now, it will be silly to say that we're going to, keep that same shape for every game. But I think the fact that we used it against this team, against this system, and saw it, being productive, I wouldn't be surprised to see it being used and utilized a little bit more. Maybe it was a system that Tuchel was a little bit worried to utilize because it could leave us, vulnerable to the counter-attack, but it didn't against a team that were looking for the counter-attack. So this is a system that is added to our toolbox. Bobby, I want to hear your point of view in regards to that. I mean, could we see Tuchel change and play about the system more? I mean, formation-wise, players-wise, what do you think?
The back three is very much a cast in stone now for Tuchel. I think he's going to do that in probably every game, certainly this season. Where we'll have a change will be, and where the system will be affected, will be in a change of personnel. One person I'm quite interested to see how he's going to use going forward. I know we've started seeing him come into the first team bit by bit, but when he gets to the point where he will actually start, is Barkley. Barkley makes us quite interesting. I haven't quite made up my mind whether he makes us more offensive or more defensive or just more compact. I just think depending on the personnel he uses, our system will change in the forward line and in the midfield line. But defensively, we will remain the same unless there are big issues with people like Rudiger, who I think is already lining up Malang Sarr to be a bit of a breather for him. And centre back and the right centre back is very much known. So, yeah, I don't see too many starting changes, but in-game changes and personnel changes, definitely.
All right. Question to everyone. In, let's say, December, Christmas time, we start to hear rumours about the sale of Ziyech and Havertz. Do you guys see that happening? Do you guys see us selling these two players?
No, how do
I
you?
can't think. No,
One second. We are not advocating the sale. We are not recommending the sale. We are not suggesting the sale.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, don't be surprised to see that because these will make big stories. But do you? I mean, I want to get in front of the curve if I can, and I want to suggest it now because it could happen, and I want to see your reaction to it because this is the way the press works.
Trying to make it happen.
Exactly.
Well, with Timo Werner, he's already doing it with Timo Werner. But
he's doing it now with Ziyech and Havertz.
Yeah. Oh, Bobby, you know that story. You know that story, Bobby. Yeah, you saw that today, did you?
I don't pay attention to any of these things. But yeah, it is. You're right, Mo. We're going to get it. That's Chelsea. We always get it. Is it going to happen? No chance.
Do you know what the ramifications are for me? This is why I'm suggesting it, because I'm looking at what impact it's going to have. You see, the minute we're going to start seeing Havertz be linked with Bayern Munich, with Real Madrid, with Paris Saint-Germain. The minute we're going to see that, do you know what's going to happen? It's going to be Tuchel needs to play him. Otherwise, he's going to go. He can't be playing Ross Barkley. He can't be playing Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He can't be playing Callum. Stop playing Callum, for God's sake, and play Havertz, for God's sake. That's what's, and that's what's going to happen. That
confusion.
Is exactly.
It's true. I think also, Mel, going back to your comments and what you're saying there about Havertz and Ziyech. I mean, I think people have got. I think any idiot reporter out there that's reporting rubbish, you've got to remember who actually got us the winning Champions League goal, and who was involved in it all. The players that are talking about possibly going, and I'm talking about Timo Werner being mentioned for one. His little run off for Havertz to finish that goal. I mean, so any idiot, and any idiot that reports that, I mean, it just tells you just how that press is with Chelsea, just generally. I mean, we're always going to get this. I've known this. Been a Chelsea fan for years. All we ever seem to get is bad press from idiots. Even when Ken Bates was our chairman back in the day, it was the same. That's why he used to ban the press from coming into press conferences, ban them from coming to Stamford Bridge sometimes because of the rubbish they used to talk. And one particular report he used to not get on with was a guy called Rob Beasley. Who used to be on the News of the World quite a lot, and he used to report so much rubbish as well. And I think Bates had a few things with him, and he banned him eventually. So this is the thing. Unfortunately, we're in this kind of situation again because we're champions of Europe. Every time a player doesn't start and it's a top name player, there's always going to be this gossip coming out
to destabilize the club.
Exactly.
I'll give you an example. Can I just point your attention to when?
Bobby, I'll bring you in, but I wanted to also to address what happened on the pitch yesterday. Normally when a day goes by and you look at things and you contemplate things, you calm down a little bit. You think, well, it is what it is. But to be honest, the fact that a day's gone by, every time I look at the disallowed goal for Timo Werner and the context of that goal and how it was disallowed, and when I look at the situation, and I look at some of the commentators who are anti-Chelsea in the past,
what they said,
and what they said, it really is mind-boggling how much, I mean, I said this on the stream. I literally think the guy in the VAR box was sitting there and just looking to find something, and he went back to 12 seconds until he saw something that could be deemed as a foul. And lads, this is important for you all to remember, because at the start of the season, the Football Association said that fouls will be looked at differently this season. They're going to allow a little bit more of a physical contact this season. They're going to give the game a little bit more of a alpha male sport, contact sport, because that's what football is this season. Instead, the man, Azpilicueta brushed the back of his boot, and he collapsed like he's been hit by a truck.
Mike Dean.
12 seconds later, the goal is disallowed. Go on, Bobby.
Mike Dean is as notorious for what he's done to Chelsea as Anthony Taylor and Mark Clattenburg. So there's no surprise there.
Chris Foy as well. Adam as well.
Yeah. A very interesting point I wanted to raise was the punditry on Sky today in the Liverpool Man City game. Roy Keane was talking about the conundrum they have between Grealish, Sterling, and what's that kid's name? Foden. And his answer was, well, I'm sure Pep's told them that they're going to have to rotate. They can't all play. Sometimes they're going to come on, some will come off. That's what happens when you're at a big club. And I was laughing to myself, because if that was a Chelsea conundrum, you know what you'd be hearing? Oh, Grealish has to go to Barcelona or Real Madrid, or all that nonsense. So the tone, you see, these words, they matter, and the tone with which you want to present a team matters. And a lot of these pundits and so-called journalists and people like that, they know that. When Chelsea's going well, they start throwing in these little bombs, these little grenades, to see if they can destabilize the club. You know, our road to success is always very difficult, very difficult. How we ever get there at all it's almost a miracle, to be honest, because we have a lot to deal with, unlike most other clubs.
Yeah. Also, listen, today, who was the referee? It was it was the fourth referee today, guys. Did you watch the Man City game?
It was Dean.
Yeah,
It was Mike Dean. It was Mike Dean. Yeah?
Michael Dean, yeah.
And just next to him, there was a tackle by what's the right back? The right back, Milner. There was a tackle by Milner, which was a lot worse than what the touch. You know, when Azpilicueta breathed on the Southampton player, and listen, nothing was given. Pep done his nuts. Who was him? Who was telling him to go and sit down and just stuck it in? Mike Dean, the same one who deemed Azpilicueta's blow on the Southampton player to be a free kick. Okay, Mike Dean has previous with us, and he lives near in the Wirral, doesn't he, near Liverpool? And I don't care what anyone says. I think he's a secret Liverpool supporter. Can you remember that time when we were going for the league? We played against Sunderland. Okay. And he gave a disgraceful decision for Sunderland, and that's right. So we lost momentum and we missed out on the league by 3 points. That when Marina came back in his first season, by a couple of points, and that was a vital game because had we won, it would have put pressure on both Manchester City and Liverpool that year. And he was the same referee. It was Mike Dean, the referee. You know. And he should have had no business refereeing that match anyway, because of his Liverpool connection. Obviously, he doesn't admit it, but we all, you know, a lot of people in the think that he's got connections with Liverpool.
It's like
he's got suspect.
So Anthony Taylor in Manchester. He's a Manchester guy.
Yeah,
he's from Manchester.
Exactly.
So he's not going to love Chelsea for love nor money.
Exactly. And I listened to you guys yesterday, and we were talking about the Chelsea, the people in the media, the Chelsea people being a bit soft, etc. And someone mentioned Craig Burley as well, because Craig Burley, he's had a dislike for Chelsea ever since I think he wasn't picked in a cup final or something. And he was disgruntled by that, and since then he's been very negative towards Chelsea.
So true.
All the people who they have on at for Chelsea are Mr. Nice guys, like Glenn Hoddle. You wouldn't think that he managed us, you know, because the way he talks about us is mainly like Tottenham. So they have people like Graham Lasso who are nice people. Yeah, the only one I've heard stick up for us. Remember Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank this season, I think it was. He was very, because he's you know, he's a quite fiery character, and he wouldn't have any nonsense that they were throwing at Chelsea that day. So if we have more people
with that Man United,
and another one, Max is I don't know if you ever guessed. I'm sure you guys listen to TalkSport. Mario Melchiot. He's come on there many times. He's another one that sticks up for Chelsea.
And Jason Cundy.
Jason Cundy.
He's on TalkSport. Jason Cundy.
You guys are saying one thing. Even Ruud Gullit or being sport as well always stick for. I think it's the Dutch character. They're very fiery.
So
that's right. They're very fiery. Exactly.
Frank Sinclair does it when you get him on Sky Sports, but they know he does it. That's why they.
That's why they don't have him on. Yeah. But then what we got to realise is Sky Sports and BT Sport are really the two main ones which carry
Joe
the
Cole
clout.
as well.
Yes, Joe Cole but as someone said on the chat yesterday, he does, but he's not as opinionated as some of the other people, like your Jamie Carragher's and people like that. If John Terry was there, like John Terry has got the same sort of characteristics as your Jamie Carragher's and your Gary Neville's, so he would be as.
Max, sorry, John Terry went on once. Sorry about it. John Terry went on once. I was very disappointed because guess what? They were slugging our players, and he didn't defend them. And they asked him if you were captain, if you were there up with Kepa, with Rudiger, they didn't defend them. Yeah. I mean, John Terry, I was very disappointed with that. I couldn't believe it. I'm like,
if he was a regular host, then maybe, because when you think when Gary Neville and Thing first came, they weren't. They grew into their role, and they became more and more opinionated as time went by. So coming on as a guest appearance now and again is different from being a regular pundit. So I'd love to see Jimmy there more often, actually, because Jimmy's one that we know who will fight our corner.
I get the privilege of seeing Jimmy quite often here in Canada, because the Premier League package out here usually has him involved. So I know what you mean. It's good to hear somebody that's actually in our corner, like actually speak and be not just biased but objective about what he's seeing. It's not just, like, I think that's the thing that everyone's struggling with. It's like you see so much bias when you watch on Sky or BT Sport, any of that, right? But I also like when Frank was on BT Sport too. I don't know if you guys remember when Lampard was on there before, or was it after? I think it was in the summer sometime, or there was a time that Frank was on BT Sport, and he always, or was it
It was before. It was before he managed us.
Right, and then it was also he'd go at Jermaine Genius more than.
Oh, Jermaine Genius. Oh dear, yeah.
There's another guy. Why is this guy on TV?
Dennis,
I know his hatred for Chelsea is just so blatant.
Yeah.
Guys, I have not listened to a live commentary on Sky or BT of Chelsea since 2008. And let me tell you why. What they did to us, especially BBC, at the Champions League final 2008 Moscow against Man United, I will never forget. I was so nauseated, so angered by it. The way they treated Chelsea, their fans, you would think we were some kind of weird team coming up against an English side. You wouldn't even know that we were a Premier League side.
Yeah.
The bias was appalling. And then coupled with the fact that we lost the game that way, I was so angered that honestly, till today, I watch my Chelsea games with no commentary whatsoever. I really don't, because I can't stand the things they say.
I like listening to music myself, so I hear you, Bobby. It's very rare to listen to commentary too. I just put music on and watch the game and feel cool.
And Bobby, you're right. Sorry.
No, I'm saying back in the day when we had Chelsea TV, they used to do the live commentary, so you could listen to their commentary rather than the commentary on the TV.
Yeah,
you can still listen to it on a Chelsea fifth stand.
Fifth stand up. That's what I do. I don't listen to the radio. Anything. I just put the TV on mute and put the fifth stand up on and listen to it. For me, it was when they went after Didier Drogba. Remember after the
Barcelona game.
No, the Barcelona game is the following season. They started it after the red card. They blame him for John Terry missing the penalty. They said because he was meant to take the fifth penalty.
When he slapped Vidic.
Yes. That's when he started. And
I used to go and say
they call him a diver. Remember when they used to call him a diver?
Yeah, I remember.
Articles for it.
I remember.
And also one day they brought him on TV and asked him, "Do you dive?" That's why I hate Jeff Street. Asking a grown man, footballer, and that time he didn't understand English properly. He said, "Sometimes I do, sometimes I do." That was the headline everywhere.
But I remember talking about Jeff Street though. Do you remember that time when they interviewed Ivanovic just after we got to the final of the Champions League, and he said, "You do realise you're not going to be playing in the final, don't you?" Because he got booked and he got second, and then so some of the questions
angry about it.
Yeah. You just saw his face.
Go on Chelsea TV, and I would tell them about the commentary and how I remember.
I remember.
You couldn't listen to Chelsea commentary because, of course, Chelsea TV never did live games. Well, they did do commentaries actually in the end.
They did commentaries. They started doing commentaries. Yeah.
But it's very difficult. I mean, I only had one TV. It's very difficult. I mean, and in those days, there wasn't like Sky Q and all that stuff, so it was very difficult watching one game and then listening to Chelsea, and unless you did it on your laptop or something. But it was. I used to be so angry.
I remember you very well, Bobby. Very well, mate.
One second.
Bobby, George Martin.
Yeah.
The only person who
Vic
actually
Clear.
knows what Bobby looks like is DJ South because you've seen him. But we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
People in the chat, because I'm seriously enjoying this discussion. But are you enjoying it? I want to know. If you guys are enjoying it, tell me in the chat, and we'll just keep on bantering for the rest of the stream. Otherwise, we'll get back to the topic. So in the chat, let me know if you like us to be bantering, reminiscing, just talking about Chelsea, or do you want us to go back and talk about the potential of these lads? So in the chat, let me know. Carry on, guys. Carry on. I'm just waiting for the people in the chat to tell me.
We didn't want to spoil things.
Do you guys remember our first Champions League when they were hoping for us to lose to AC Milan? We didn't.
Yeah.
To Lazio, we didn't. And we battered Barcelona 3-1 at the bridge. You remember?
Yes.
I remember.
Of course.
Away. When Luis Figo was, we were like 2 minutes away, isn't it? And Luis Figo crossed to Patrick Kluivert and he equalized 3-1. They were celebrating. To be honest, I thought ITV, they were not English.
No, it wasn't Kluivert. Was it Morientes?
Morientes.
Morientes.
No, Morientes was but
Real Madrid. No, he was Real Madrid.
Not Morientes. There was another striker. He scored a header.
Is it Ronaldinho?
No, I'm talking
No,
about.
it wasn't Ronaldinho. It was the Spanish guy.
No.
He scored. I think Kluivert scored in extra time.
I know. I
think
remember
1998. I know Figo scored.
Yeah.
And Kluivert scored. I think.
I don't think it was Kluivert. It was this strike. It was a big number 9 Spanish guy who scored that goal. I'll tell you why. Because I think I went to the first leg because I think Torrando Flo scored 2 goals in that game.
Yeah.
Zola scored, and then I was actually at the sports bar in London for the second leg, and there was lots of Chelsea, and a film crew came in, and they were just about to they want to record us to see whether we're going to get through and celebrate, and then they scored just before about 7 minutes before the end of full time to take us into extra time. And then Babiara got sent off, and then in extra time we just went 2 down, and then the camera crew left because obviously they need it. Everyone was deflated, but I'll find out who scored that goal. It wasn't Kluivert.
I remember in a
Was it?
I'm trying to think.
It was a header.
Didn't Morientes score? Didn't Morientes score against?
I'm sure it was Morientes.
For Monaco.
That was Monaco.
Was it Monaco? Wasn't it?
That was Monaco. Yeah.
Yeah, Monaco.
Yeah, that was Monaco.
That was the first time I couldn't believe it. An English team, and they were celebrating for Figo and Rivaldo and Demblo. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, it's unbelievable. It's like Chelsea's a foreign team in England. You know?
Well, it was
once. Bobby,
a lot of the propaganda against Chelsea was about them with the foreign players.
Because I remember we actually named a team without a single English player in it, which is. Remember we got told that's when we had that name, didn't we? Yeah, and we had that name. We had that name. We had all the top European players that come to us. Then.
And we wonder why we had
Danny. It was Danny. Danny, it was. He scored a header.
Danny.
Yeah.
What? I think Danny is Portuguese. It's not Spanish, is it?
No, there was Danny was actually. You had 2 of them. There was a Danny. I think he was actually Spanish. Danny was.
Yeah,
there was one. There was a Spanish one.
Okay.
All right.
Those were the good.
Let's get back for the for 2022 season. Reminiscing about history is fantastic. But let's talk about the team, because some of the people in the chat would probably not even know who you guys are talking about. I hardly know half of the guys are talking
on
about.
the injustice that Chelsea has to deal with.
Yeah, exactly.
How can we listen? It's fantastic. It's a good topic. Let's talk about it. How can we address the injustice that the club is facing? Because right now, I think the biggest injustice that we're facing, take away the referee decisions, take away the guys in the media, and writing all these fantastic news stories about Rudiger and about X, Y, and Z player. The biggest injustice we're facing is from our own fan base. Let's say it.
Yeah.
Our own fan base, and the way that we attack our team and attack our players because of certain results, certain selections. I mean, Mason Mount can be picked and people will be angry. Mason Mount can be dropped and another set of people will be angry. We should not be angry. Mason
Social
Mount
media
being
is so
picked
emotional,
or
man.
not picked. Yeah, that's the thing. We need. I mean, right now, we just played a game without some of the players that we spent millions on. Hakim Ziyech, Kai Havertz. Those guys cost us a ton. We didn't play them. We played an academy lad up front, Callum Hudson-Odoi. All right. I mean, this for me is it's good. I like seeing Callum Hudson-Odoi. I like seeing Loftus-Cheek, get a chance. But the fan base needs to. I don't know. I mean, what can we do? What can we do? You tell me.
But Mo, this is the problem, though, Mo, isn't it? I mean, when we got, I can understand. What I'm saying, I understand. We've got these players that we've brought in Havertz and Ziyech. So, some of our fan base expect these players to be playing all the time. But what people have got to realise is it's a team. It's a team game. Yeah, we've got loads of games that we're playing this season, competitions wise. Everyone's going to get their chance, but unfortunately, when you've got a certain section of fans that want certain favourites to be playing, and when they're not playing for, say, a youth player that's coming instead, oh my God, the uproar you get from some of the Chelsea fans is unbelievable. It's like I have to say, yesterday when I went on social media after the game, before I went onto your channel, I just went back on a few things, and even though we had won the game yesterday, I saw a lot of rubbish going on of why we had played Callum Hudson-Odoi. Why did we play Ruben Loftus-Cheek yesterday? They should. And I'm thinking, these guys played so well. So we even won the game with these guys. And they said, okay, Callum went off. We went off as a substitute for Mason Mount. But he was another youth player that came through. And if you're going to talk about our youth players, he was another one that came on for Callum Hudson-Odoi. But unfortunately, some of our fan base out there, this is what gets me angry with some of our fan base out there. They gave Timo Werner crap last season. This season, it seems to be Werner again. Then there's going to be another, and Ziyech has been getting it this year, and Havertz has had it in some. I mean, the fan base, unfortunately, some of them are never going to be satisfied. And all I'm basically saying is we all should just be supporting our team no matter what. And these players that have bad games, just stick by them because they're always going to come good. Because as I keep saying, there's so many games out there to play, and if we're not winning the games, I can understand fans getting frustrated, but don't turn on your players. Do you get me? We're a team at the end of the day. It'll be resolved, and I think it's just frustrating.
We're living in a world now. Sorry, we're living in a world now. We're living in a world now where we don't have to play, and the younger fan base and some other people, they don't follow the team, they follow individuals. Okay, so you've seen it, and they're quite easily. So sometimes some people follow Ronaldo wherever. So people who were Real Madrid fans a few years ago became Juventus fans, and now they're back to supporting Manchester United because they follow Ronaldo. A lot of Barcelona have probably lost half their fan base to PSG now because of Lionel Messi. We lost a few because when Hazard left, we lost people to Hazard. So that's what you're getting. You're getting lots of people who that's what they do, and so they've got an individual. So they have got agendas going as well. So we've got people, and it's a weird one because if you follow Jorginho, then that means Max, you can't like Mason Mount.
I'm going to interrupt you, Max. I'm going to interrupt you. You make a brilliant point. Now, us as a fan base, when we see that, then we should address it. We should say, you, my friend, are not a Chelsea fan. You are a fan of that player.
I've said that so many times.
Don't talk to me about Chelsea. Talk to me about X and Y player. Don't talk to me about Chelsea. Because you're not a fan of Chelsea.
No, what the issue is here?
Wait, hold on. I interrupted Max. Let Max finish his statement. Then I'll let Moore and Bobby come in.
I'll let other people come in because that's basically what I was saying. Because as I said, if you're a Jorginho, some people as well, what they say, if you're a fan of Jorginho, that means you can't be a fan of Mount because it's like he's the was it the arch enemy or something like that? So you got two sides as well, because you had people who follow managers. You had people who loved Sarri and they don't like Lampard, and the people who don't like Lampard don't like Sarri, and it's just all ridiculous. Because again, it's not. I say to people, I support Chelsea FC. I don't care who's in charge.
Exactly.
And sometimes you may have issues. I don't mind constructive criticism. It's got to be constructive, because Ziyech isn't playing well. I'm getting constructive criticism. I'm not going to say, oh, he should never be in the side anymore. If he comes in and performs, I'm happy. Why?
Right.
Because Chelsea are winning and he's doing well, and that's what it should be like with everyone. You should be happy when people perform. If they're not playing well, you call them out, but in a way. But sometimes Mason Mount could have a brilliant game, but then they'll still say that he was rubbish, because they don't want to be seen as looking at, oh, Mason Mount has been brilliant this time, and it's they could do anything what he does. He could have one bad pass in a game and 50 world class passes. They'll highlight that one bad pass that he's done.
Matt, so what the problem is this is a culture thing. Now, so people like you, me, Mo. We were Chelsea fans. I'm sure you, Max, definitely. We were Chelsea fans where fans were really fans, to the point where they were ready to kill each other on the stands. And I'm sure you must have had a few narrow escapes, just like me, and just as people of our generation through that time. People like DJ, started supporting. His dad took him to the stadium. He understood the culture. As Chelsea has expanded and modernized, we've suddenly got these group of people coming to support the club, or think they support the club, but they don't understand the culture. So they don't know what it means to support your team as Chelsea fans do, or indeed any other fans do. So they either come in supporting Chelsea because they've got this guy from their home country playing at Chelsea, or because they've got an allegiance to Sarri, or whatever. I mean, sometimes I look at some of the stuff on social media about Chelsea, and I'm puzzled. I'm like, whoa, what's this got to do with football? We've got some guy there. I mean, okay, great. You swing both ways, fantastic, good for you. But what's that got to do with football? Do you know what I mean?
I do. Unfortunately, I do.
Sort of thing. I'm like, what is that? I don't get that. That is not football. But that's what we have. And to be able to tell these people otherwise is almost an impossible task, because that's what they relate to. And maybe that's just the modern world. I don't know. But it's very sad, because that takes away so much.
And when you say modern world, like it's true, Bobby, because what I've noticed is just with social media, everyone's just trying to protect their persona. Like if they've come out on Twitter and got 600 likes because they said, so and so is rubbish, and then next game comes across, the next game comes across, the guy looks brilliant. He's still trying to poke holes into his game. Everyone is just so protective.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point, Dennis.
Hold on.
And
guys,
also,
I want to bring in more. Mo.
Yeah, I will second exactly what you guys are saying, but I'm taking it from my own personal experience. I have 8 nieces and nephews in America. 3 of my sisters, they all live there. These kids, the oldest was born in 1999. I'm the reason why they support Chelsea, because each year I get them their Chelsea kits, and when I go on holiday with my family and so. But since Christian Pulisic signed for Chelsea, they are Christian Pulisic fan first, Chelsea is second. And I'm the reason why they support Chelsea. But because of their allegiance is with their country person. And they hate Cho more than anybody. And then Mount. They see them two as direct competitor to Christian Pulisic. Not realizing that Chelsea had Anelka, Drogba, we've had Gudjonsen before, Hasselbein, with Zola, they used to rotate.
Wow.
But they believe that because of these are my own blood cousins, nieces and nephews that I introduced to Chelsea. They support Chelsea because of me. But the past 3 years, I can't get them to see anything right. The oldest was born in 99. And now, even this year, when they asked me for their Chelsea jersey, I refused to get it because they want Christian Pulisic at the back. I said, go online, get it yourself. Because
you just named some legends there, Mo. Honestly.
Yeah.
Strikers.
All they care about is individual player. I don't care about names. For me, I support all the Chelsea players. I love the academy players, yes. But I support anybody Chelsea signs. The reason why I like the academy player, let me say one thing here today. Let any Chelsea fan listening, let them know. Roman Abramovich loved these academy players more than even the players he bought. They have to know that. Roman loved Ruben like his own blood. That's why Ruben is still at the club. Mount the same. Cho the same. Because he saw them from when they were 7, 8. He used to go and watch. He used to watch them.
Yes, he did. He did.
Did you see the article? 1 minute before you continue. Did you see the article? Actually, there was an article recently where it said that his vision is to have a team which has about 6 or 7 academy players with 4 or 5 world-class players blended in. So that's what he's got as his vision for the next 3 or 4 seasons, I think. Or I can't remember the year it is, but that's what he wants.
Yeah.
You see, the reason why Louis Baker and Charlie Mosonda they're still at that club is because of Roman. Roman saw this kid play football. He did it till today. He believes that those kids are better than some of the players that we are signing. The only reason is injury or bad luck or whatever. He's not giving up on these kids. Because he saw Chelsea dominate European Youth Champions League. They went to 4 finals in 6 years. They won 2. Roman was there. Okay, so if any Chelsea fans,
FA Cups in a row.
Thank you very much. If any Chelsea fans think that they need to sell them, you're kidding. The only time he will sell them is the ones that end up going certain way that whatever. The reason why Cho stay is because of his relationship with certain people in the club. Especially Jody Morris. When Jody Morris came back, Jody Morris is the reason, and what's his name again? The one that's Tuchel assistant now.
Joe Edwards.
Yes, Joe Edwards. Those are the 2 people that convinced him to stay. So let nobody kid you. Even his family was shocked because he looked at them like a family. Okay, Roman is not giving up on these kids, on the academic kids. He loved them. So anybody that hates these academic kids, good luck with that.
Respect to Mo for that. 100% of what you just said there, mate. 100%. As I said, there's just some certain sections of the fans out there that just don't want to see these plays. This is the thing. I know a few channels that I won't mention on here that completely criticise our youth players, and I listen to that and I think, nah, I'm not listening to any of that stuff. These players are there for a reason. And as you said, I mean, I've had the opportunity to actually watch these youngsters play some games as well, and I used to go and watch the youth players play. And I saw Cho playing, saw Ruben playing before, and I said to my dad even about Cho. I remember when I went to see a game with my dad with Cho, and I said this kid is one kid I feel is going to mention, and him and Mason Mount were the 2 that I was, and Reece James were the 3. I said these 3 players will be the ones that will get into this Chelsea team eventually, and they did, which I was happy about to see. But I'm just glad. I'm glad they've stuck around. I really am. And I just think the fans need to see that a little bit more. I really do.
Yeah, we only got to look at
Hold
on, guys. Hold on. Listen. I want to address a few topics. This stream was dedicated to one topic, but I'm loving the topics that we have coming across in the stream, because I think the fans need to hear this, these kind of debates and points of view. I want to go back a little bit to last season, and I want to address a scenario that happened, and I want to get your thoughts on this, because at the time it was hard to talk about it because of all of the hype that was going on. And do you guys remember the time when we were talking about Lampard in and Lampard out, and whether he should stay, whether he should go? There was an issue that was being raised. If you are a Lampard out, you're anti-Chelsea. You have to support Lampard to support Chelsea. Now, that was all over the place. And a lot of the big social media accounts were backing that narrative. Now, the issue is this. Today, Lampard is not a Chelsea player. Today, Lampard is not a Chelsea manager. But today, Lampard is still a Chelsea legend. And today, whenever you see Lampard talking, whenever you see interviews with Lampard, what does he talk about? His history at Chelsea, his achievements at Chelsea, his memories at Chelsea. So Lampard will always be part of Chelsea. Not Chelsea part of Lampard, but he is part of the big, which is Chelsea. And a lot of people were talking about it the other way around. Okay, and that is a problem. You see, the thing is this. we need to be able to divide and to distinguish between the club and its entities. There's a lot of entities that make up the club. Lampard was one of those. John Terry was one of those. But the fact that we talk about these things as, if you are anti John Terry, you're anti Chelsea. If you're anti Lampard, you're anti Chelsea. There needs to be a separation between what Chelsea is, what our history is, and what the narrative. And I mean, for example, should Lampard do something bad tomorrow, does that mean Chelsea does something bad tomorrow? No. Should Lampard do something good tomorrow, does that mean Chelsea does something good tomorrow? No, because Lampard represents himself now, but he was part of that. I'm not sure if I'm getting it across the right way, but what I'm trying to say to you is this: we need to be able to distinguish.
You know what? Yeah, you shouldn't get too invested in an individual, okay? Because I think I wanted for Lampard to succeed, okay, because of his history and what he did at Chelsea.
We all did,
okay,
yeah.
But when I saw he was the right manager for the right time, I still say that, because what he did, he set the groundwork for what Tuchel is doing now by introducing a lot of these players that we're seeing now, the younger players who are coming in. But through his inexperience, he couldn't take us that next step. But listen, a lot of Chelsea supporters out there, these so-called proper Chelsea, as they put themselves, they saw him as the legend. Okay, so no, they didn't want him to go because they said, "How can we sack our legend?" He's, so they got us relegated. They wouldn't have minded us getting relegated, and they'll say, "Yeah, we still need to keep Frank. We can't sack him. We can't treat him that way." But you have to separate that. You have to look at him as an individual. Is he the right person to take us forward? Which he probably wasn't at the time. Yeah. So that's what I looked at. At first, I was willing to give him enough time, but I think the game against Leicester, where they weren't playing for him, and there's a few games. It wasn't just one game. There was a few games where you could see that they weren't playing for him. He wasn't getting his ideas across. His inexperience was coming through in the way that he managed certain players as well. He sort of marginalised some of the players who are playing now. So you looked at it and said, you know what, maybe this job's come a little bit too early for him. And as I said, the first season was good, but the second season, again, it was a bit too. It wasn't great for him. So I was willing to say, look, we need to take. I said, you know what, I'd love him as a legend, but for the best of the club, we need to get in somebody else. Yeah. So I was willing to do that. Other people thought it was a betrayal to do that, but it's not a betrayal, No. So you have to look at it from a business perspective as well. Yeah. So
yeah. Can I just come in with that bit? I just finish exactly what Max is trying to say. Last year, where I think we went top, and after that we went away to Everton and we lost to Carlo 2-0, if you remember this, guys. And I lost it with him. I was at work and he just ruined my night. And we went away to Wolves and we 1-0 up Giroud, and they ended up beat us 2-1. Remember that game, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. And I was at work and he pissed me off all night, and I just wanted him out. I really wanted. I said, look, you're legend of the club and I like it and everything. That it doesn't make you a good manager. And it was just getting to me. And as you said, Max, it was just losing just in Rome. He wasn't good with a player in the way he wasn't man management. I just wanted him out. And I thought when Tuchel coming in and obviously had that good run, and I said, if Tuchel came a bit 5 weeks before, 4 weeks, he would probably challenge for the league. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted Lampard out because I'm
gonna say this. I wasn't necessarily. I've backed every manager we've had, not named Benitez. I've backed every one of them, and I've never wanted a manager out. I've never advocated for that. I always think that, like, especially with the run that we went on from manager to manager year after year, it's just kind of like you can't, and all with them with different ideas of how they want to play football. Like, so you buy 6 or 7 players for one style of football, then you get a new manager. That manager can't work with that 6 or 7 players, so they bring in some more, and you just have this mismatched squad going forward every year. And for me, sometimes you just need to give managers time. Like, I know that's not really the remit of the club. We don't really do that, but sometimes you have to give somebody time to get their ideas across, and like a year and a half just doesn't seem like enough for me half the time. But like I said, I agree. I'm glad we went in and made the move that we did, because we produced in the Champions League, right?
Yeah.
I understand that like it is a results-driven business and whatnot, and we do necessarily need to be challenging and obviously qualifying for the Champions League just to even pay for the squad that we've assembled. But for me, I would rather take a year out of the Champions League and build a proper squad, have the proper mentality, and then go from there. That's a
no, you don't need to. You don't need to. Frank got to a point where he was out of his depth.
Yes,
exactly. And these people that were all Frank. They're the same people that don't want Chelsea to redevelop the stadium. I mean, sometimes you've got to move forward. Life changes. You've got to develop, and you don't have to.
After Bobby.
You don't have to endlessly stay with a manager and lose out on. Do you know what it does to a club to drop out of the top four? Sometimes you take another 5 years to get back in it. Ask Liverpool. So no, I would never advocate for that. We got rid of Frank at the right time. It's got nothing to do with who he is as a player for the club. But we've even done him a favor, mate, because if he had
mate, it was just out of the depth, man.
Yeah, he could be back anyway.
Let me hear from more.
For me, I stopped being attached to a manager when my hero, Ruud Gullit, was sacked.
What a player!
That's the day I. That wasn't
even for footballing reasons, was it?
It wasn't. You know what? The newspaper did a debt. No, it wasn't even about money. You know what?
No, they said that's what they said. Allegedly.
They said, his mom was diagnosed with cancer. There was a chance that she was gonna die. So Ruud Gullit used to go to Holland, and Graham Rix, his assistant, used to look after the
training. Yeah, that's right.
Training. So the newspaper went and published something to say Ruud Gullit was partying with hookers or whatever, and Ken Bate went ahead because they were having issues as well regarding whatever. So he used that as the opportunity to get rid of him. Okay, and
so
I was devastated.
Even before Roman, the press was on our case.
Yes, sir. The only black manager, the first black manager. Yeah, they used to call him like a womanizer because he was dating all these models or whatever. So they went after Ruud Gullit because he was the only black manager. Chelsea is a diverse club. You know, we have bad history, but when it comes to diversity,
100% on that.
If you check, look at Chelsea. Chelsea was the first team to fill, I think, 3 or 4 Portuguese, Italian, black players, French. You name it. French.
Yeah.
Chelsea was ahead of everybody. People give Arsene Wenger all this credit, but they forgot that before Arsene Wenger, there was Glenn Hoddle, then Ruud Gullit, before Patrick Vieira arrived here. Okay,
the role that Marina has right now with the club,
Imanalo, look at Imanalo. Imanalo was the first. Is it the first or only black director until Ferdinand take charge of QPR? Imanalo was the most powerful. Was the most powerful black executive in football. Period. Worldwide. Okay. And who is our chief executive? Is a woman. Okay. Is the most powerful person in football right now is a woman, Marina. Respectful everywhere. So people that in Chelsea, when it comes to things doing the right thing, they've done the right thing. They will not get everything right. Believe me, they will not.
But when it comes to thing that annoys me, look at all the NHS workers that Chelsea house for free.
Yes, so true, Bobby. What a valid point.
Nobody ever even talks about it. No club did more for the health service during the pandemic than Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah.
And contrast that with Arsenal, who furloughed 50 of their staff.
And after that, they gave Aubameyang a big contract. Big contract. That was embarrassing. It really was embarrassing.
And Max, don't forget that Arsenal also furloughed
as well. They backtracked, didn't they?
You know. What is it? Who's? We have Stamford at Chelsea, the Lion. They furloughed there.
They furloughed the mascot.
Who's Mesut Ozil end up paying for Gonosaurus? Mesut Ozil paid Ganaso's salary, and Arsenal got mad. Even they got mad.
I tell you guys a little story. Yeah, you know the day when Ruud. I don't know if you guys can remember this. I can remember this very, very well. The day we got rid of Ruud Gullit, there was a big headline at the back of the newspaper that Gianluca Vialli was going to take over as the manager.
Yes.
Do you know who we were trying to bring over the line to bring in? And there was discussions going on, and there was 100%. He was not Yapstam, Taribo West. Do you remember him?
Yeah, Taribo West.
Yes, he was heavily linked with us. The day that we got rid of Ruud, because that deal was getting done behind the scenes. Yeah. And then when Ruud went, it just didn't happen after that. But I remember that deal was going to go through. It was a big thing coming up.
But he wanted Yapstam as well, because he mentioned, Ruud Gullit mentions the fact that he was negotiating for Yapstam before he went to Man U.
As well.
And you guys cannot. I don't know whether you remember this. Do you remember when Ken Bate wanted to went to negotiate with Doug Ellis, Aston Villa for Gareth Southgate, and Doug Ellis wanted 3 times the money that he bought Marcel Desailly for. Marcel Desailly for 3 million. I think Doug Ellis wanted 7 million, and he told Doug Ellis, like, I'm not negotiating with a butcher, because I think he has a lot of butcher shops. I'm signing a World Cup winner from AC Milan for 3 million. You wanted 7 million for a butcher's guy, Southgate. That's how we end up with Marcel Desailly instead of Southgate. That was the
what a decision that was. Wow. What a decision that was.
Right, guys, I have to go because I've got work tomorrow morning, guys, and I'll speak to you soon, guys. Yeah.
Take care.
Thanks for having me more. Have a good night, guys. Take care.
Good night.
Take care.
Actually, I should probably take my goodbyes too. I gotta go feed my kid and whatnot. But it was great chats, guys. Great chats.
Take care, Dennis.
Cheers, Dennis.
Yeah, we'll talk again.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Take care, mate.
Right, take care.
You know, I'm actually going to change the title of this video, and I'm going to call it Chelsea History. Reminisce.
And also, sorry, I was going to tell you, like, there's something that come to my mind. I didn't remember yesterday. I was going to see whether, like, I can talk about, all the managers, like the reason when fans are complaining to say, the reason why did we buy this player, or what did happen? Most of the time, fans don't know behind the scene, because obviously a club not gonna release it, and people who are involved, they're not gonna say it. But if you guys want, I can go through certain things, and people that are listening, they can know why the club made certain decision. It wasn't because of they're dumb or they didn't know they played this or that. There were circumstances that forced the club's hand to sign each individual player and scenario. But fans will get up, Bakayoko, it was useless, but they don't know the reason why Bakayoko was signed. Can
you enlighten us?
Give me a second. Let me go into it. Let me just. I think I have my rebel.
All right, deal with it and then let us know. Yeah, no, I'd be very interested to hear any insight in regards to Bakayoko, because that was a weird decision. Actually, in hindsight, as a decision to sign him, because he was doing all right in Monaco, he was performing, and he was part of a squad that had a great season.
Yeah.
But then when he came to Chelsea, he underperformed.
Sorry about that.
And it was a Chelsea thing, because when he went back to Italy, he performed all right with Napoli, AC Milan, but he was never perfect at Chelsea. And if MDT, you have an insight to why that was, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, if you guys want, I can go all the way to Mourinho's first season, but I will go with the Bakayoko thing.
No, Mo, you have literally 7 minutes, and then I'm going to have to end the stream. So you got 7 minutes.
Okay. Let me tell you the Bakayoko. Bakayoko had Chelsea. The reason why Chelsea bought Bakayoko is because of, if you remember, Matic left Chelsea to join Mourinho at Manchester United. And then that season, what happened? John Terry left Chelsea. Nathaniel Chalobah left Chelsea. And then we lose. Ruben went to Crystal Palace on loan that season. Okay, then we were short on homegrown talent because the quota. We need to fix the quota. That's why we end up signing what's his name, Drinkwater, Barclays in January. We wanted because it's to fulfill the homegrown quota. That time, which player are we gonna fill them with? Because we didn't have enough English or British players in our squad. That's why Drinkwater was signed. It wasn't because the club was desperate. Okay, they wanted a midfielder. Nathaniel Chalobah left. Okay, but the Bakayoko injury, the Bakayoko reason why Bakayoko was signed is to replace Matic. Okay, but Bakayoko was injured. He was meant to be out until October or November. But when we signed, when he was signed, he was rushed back. If you check his first game, he had a knee operation in May, end of May or June that season. He should have been out minimum 4 to 6 months. Chelsea rushed him back to play. Bakayoko played for Chelsea that season injured. Okay, but Chelsea fans didn't know that. He played injured the whole season. Knee injury. And that's now it's affecting his career because even now, Bakayoko every season he's been having the same because he should have rested. But the reason why we were short of midfielders, Conte playing, and now it's affecting the kid's career. So sometimes fans don't know that Chelsea didn't sign a bad player. He's not a bad player. He came injured, and Bakayoko is still angry about that because he feels like the club didn't protect him. He sacrificed his body.
Exactly. Good point.
Can understand that. That's a very
you know very good point. Remember when we played Atletico Madrid? One of the best games I've ever seen us play when we beat them 2-1.
Remember Tottenham?
Bakayoko was one of the top standout performers in that game.
Yeah, he was in that game.
And it's a good point you make there, Mo, because if we look at Torres, okay, Torres, he's another one. He didn't have a medical when he came to Chelsea because Liverpool couldn't believe their luck when we paid 50 million for him because they knew like what they did, they overplayed him. They were over reliant on him. They played him through injuries when he shouldn't have played. We got a Torres, a broken down. It's just like buying a car without looking at it fully. We're just looking at parts of it. We didn't investigate into the car that we bought. So when we got this guy in, he was a shadow of the player. He had played some good performance, but he couldn't play consistently over the piece. So that's why people were having a go at this Torres because he was an injured player when so. Again, that's another example of sort of the fan base that's kind of looking. Me included, I used to take the mickey out of him now and again. But when you look at go in depth of the reasons why they're not performing, then you get a bit of understanding.
And I was just going to say, since
the Chelsea move, he has never finished a season injured. Right now, he's injured at AC Milan. You see, you haven't seen him. He played one game, he got injured again. The same knee, Bakayoko. The same knee that Chelsea. That what cost him his career. So sometimes people don't understand what these players are sacrificing. You see somebody playing bad, you don't even know whether they took an injection to play. You don't even know whether you don't know. All you think is, they're not playing. Come on.
We had an example of that, didn't we? Where I can't remember which player it was. And people were saying, why isn't he playing? Why isn't he playing? He should have been playing. And then afterwards, the manager came out and said he had an injury. That's why he wasn't playing. I can't remember if it was this last season. It was somebody.
Who was the manager, Max?
Pulisic.
Was it Pulisic? It could have been Pulisic. Yeah, it may have been Pulisic, but I can't. But the fan base were just crying, he should be in the side. But he was injured,
Yeah.
And even what Frank Lampard did at the beginning when Pulisic first came in, that's what Frank Lampard did.
It was when he went to the States for a little while as well. Then he came back. And then they said, why is he taking a trip to the States when he should be playing? And then that's when it was injured, revealed that he's injured.
Yeah. And when Frank Lampard, when he first came to Chelsea, he probably knew about his injury issue. So that's why we didn't see him for the first couple of months. When they're saying, we bought this guy and he's not even playing or whatever, but they knew that he couldn't just put him into the first team straight away. He needed to get back.
And the last one is Eden Hazard. You remember that terrible season Eden Hazard had? Mourinho, season Mourinho was sacked when he finished 10th. Do you know that guy break his ankle in September? He played with broken ankle all through until Gus Hindig gets here. Gus Hindig was the one that forced the club to say, If he doesn't have an operation, you lose. It is the end of his career. That's why he had that operation. He was out for 3 months. He came back towards the end of the Tottenham games. Remember, he ended Tottenham title charge, and he went to Liverpool. He scored that goal of the season contender. Then the following season, Conte came. We won the league. That injury that Eden Hazard played with, that's what affecting him now at Real Madrid. The same ankle. They break it. Yes. People don't understand what players go through. Eden Hazard's ankle injury at Real Madrid happened at Chelsea. Mourinho was forcing him to play instead of taking him out because Mourinho needed results. He was playing with broken ankle, taped for 3 months.
Yeah, I can tell you about another player that we had got back, and people didn't realise of it, but he was a top class player. But when he came to Chelsea, he didn't do it because he was actually injured when we signed him, and that was Brian Laudrup. We got him from Rangers, and everybody knows about that. People didn't know he was injured when he came over to us, and when he finally did start some games, he wasn't playing as he should be playing. And I remember the criticism that he was getting. I don't know if you guys can remember. I'm sure you guys remember that.
The injury was
so
known.
Yeah,
everybody knew he was injured.
People were still
Laudrup.
Brian Laudrup.
Yeah, Laudrup. I was so annoyed because he got homesick, didn't he? And
that afterwards, after he came back.
No, seriously, had we kept him and Castoraghi didn't get injured, we'd have won we'd have won the league before Abramovic came. So opposing fans wouldn't have had nothing to say because we missed out on the league by 4 points. And that's Castoraghi was a big player, got injured that day. Sorry, going back into nostalgia.
Yeah, no more. My fault.
Enough history.
Sorry, guys.
We had a fantastic history lesson. Listen, people, if any of you are doing football history and you've learned something today, I'm glad. I mean, a lot of memories have come back. A lot of stories have come back on the stream. It's been fantastic. I'm going to have to conclude it, guys, because, it's a 2-hour stream and we've passed the 2-hour mark. Thank you all for taking part, and I will see you in my next one. Make sure you subscribe and turn that bell notification because I haven't got a clue when my next one is going to be, but it'll be in the next couple of days. So I'll see you guys then.
Up the Chelsea. Take care. Peace out, people.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Cheers, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good weekend.